We have slashes, we have thrusts, as you've already seen, and then we have what we call knife jabs. It's a strike that goes straight out from your center line to whatever target, usually the eyes or hands that you're trying to hit. The way it's delivered is it's like a boxing jab, right? Again, you're not expecting to knock anyone out with that punch, but it's a way to set up follow-ups. In our knife system, the jab is used very much in the same manner. You use the jab to basically, fill the space, offset timing, what have you, and or set up your follow-ups. So you can like jab and then go into your slashing attacks, or jab and go into your thrusts, right? With your karambit, you're gonna jab, but you notice you don't need to flick the tip because the tip's already facing towards your target. So really all you're doing is punch out. And this leads me to kind of the next thing why this is popular in FMA is it's often used in a boxing manner. If you haven't had a lot of knife training but you know how to use hands, you know how to throw hands, basically put karambits in your hand and right? When you're throwing hook punches, that's literally what you're doing. You're hooking the cut with this, right? When you're throwing straight jabs, you're throwing straight jabs with that tip, right? Now here's the thing with the karambit, because it's curved, and again, if you look at the body mechanics, right, with the punch, things they tend to curve. So if I jab, because I'm using my hips and turning my shoulders, right, when it comes back, it kind of does this somewhat circular motion, but it's never straight. Nobody ever, right? You ever watch boxers when they're fighting? You never see them doing this, right? They tend to, right? They're twisting a lot. So now imagine throwing your hands with a karambit and on the way back, because this is gonna hook into skin and flesh. It's gonna take some of that skin and flesh with it, right? Because it's gonna hook in, penetrate, and then on the way out, it'll take chunks of that guy with it, right? That's why I say it's a rip and tear motion type of weapon. There's also a lot of what some masters call plucking, right? Literally, this little, plucking at your target. So you can treat your jabs in that same manner. You can pluck at them versus just jab, right? But you can do both. Again, let's say you haven't really had any training in Pekiti-Tirsia, but you have some boxing background already, or some kind of empty hands. Yeah, just throw it in there and do those same movements with this in your hand. So I'm southpaw. Yeah, I can practice my jab cross hook. Yeah, that hook, because again, I'm cutting with this. That hook doesn't always have to be in that horizontal line, and with the hook, the hand is usually like this, right? Right, you kind of, if you were like, imagine making like, you're flexing and then you do this. That's basically what the hook hand looks like. But with a karambit, you have to make sure your fist is horizontal, so that you could cut with it, right? Well, what I was gonna say is, with this, it doesn't always have to be on that same plane. You could cut at an angle, at different angles, right? So you can hook across in a horizontal, or you can hook across downward as well, right? If you're during the fight, you go down on your knees or something, you can do that as well, right? So, well, that's the horizontal, but right? It doesn't always have to be this angle only. It could be downward. Obviously, it can be upward. You already saw that with the basic strikes. It could be any of these numerous degrees, right? Again, I'm not intending to use this from range and be like, "Ooh, come on, Brian." No, we were already in the fight. He probably like hit me a few times, and I just kind of went, I went like this, and he was maybe one of his limbs was close enough for me to cut it, right? So it's not me like in a sparring situation. I'll just tire myself out because the other guy will just wait until I get tired, and then he'll come in, right? Yeah, so up close. Okay, here, bam, bam, bam. So you're seeing a basic kind of abecedario approach. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then you kind of have an idea from a boxing perspective. Pop, pop, bam, bam. See, that's an uppercut, right? Boom, boom. See, up. Very short. Okay. Again, you can extend your hand out, but you don't want it hyperextended so far. Again, if you're having to do this, you're gonna need to move a little closer, right? Again, just like boxing, you don't really see a trained boxer try to uppercut from way out here, right? He'll move close, or he'll do some kind of quartering movement, and then he'll throw that uppercut. You have your basic here. You have a kind of a boxing style use, jab, jab, hook, jab, hook. Suddenly I switch